the Archimedes needs. It's great for Rocket Lab as a commercial company to be partnered here with NASA. We get to use this facility, so we're taking advantage of the existing hardware and being able to repurpose parts of the stand, but we also have a community of support around us. There's contractors here who know how to build rocket test stands, welding, piping, major big concrete and steel structures. There's people who know how to make rocket operations work. So we got that community of people here to support us, and it's a great place to be for a commercial company to be in the middle of this with all that support and the ability to run our operation. My sincere appreciation for the team that we have here at Stennis, the team globally with Rocket Lab. We've had support from New Zealand and Long Beach and from Wallops. So they've come together here. We put a ton of work in here in the last year, and to see it all come together should be exciting for all of us. The team deserves a huge congratulations from everybody involved that have gotten us this far.
If you want to get in on the next round of engine hot fires, it is not too late to join the Neutron team in Mississippi and California. We have open roles in manufacturing, design, engine development, and more across several states. You should check out rocketlabusa.com for your options. T-minus 6 minutes, 27 seconds to launch. Let's take a look at the Electron rocket for today's mission. Electron is a 3-stage liquid-fueled launch vehicle designed specifically for small satellite missions. And over its 48 missions to date, Electron has deployed more than 180 satellites across various low Earth orbits for science, commercial, and national security missions, including a mission all the way to the moon for NASA. Now, Electron has a lift capacity of just over 300 kilograms to LEO. The rocket stands 18 meters or 59 feet tall, and once fully fueled, weighs 13,000 kilograms or more than 28,000 pounds. The rocket's black look comes from the carbon composite material that it's made of. We use carbon composite across Electron's external structure as well as throughout its internal systems and propellant tanks, which helps to keep Electron as lightweight as possible. Where the rocket looks white is where you're seeing ice form on the outside from the freezing cold temperatures of the liquid oxygen propellant that's being loaded into Electron's tanks. We use a mix of liquid oxygen and kerosene as the propellants for Electron's Rutherford engines. We have 9 of those at the bottom of the first stage and a 10th Rutherford engine that's attached to the second stage. The engines are identical across both stages except for a large expansion nozzle on the second stage Rutherford engine that supports its performance in the vacuum conditions of space. Now, all of our Rutherford engines are 3D printed and battery powered, which makes them unique as far as rocket engines go. Once Electron reaches space, though, it separates its first and second stages to continue the mission to orbit, and then repeats this process again between its second and third stage. This third stage is called the kick stage, and it's what the PREFIRE satellite is attached to all the way through to payload deployment. The kick stage has its own little engine called the Curie, which we use to precisely deploy satellites exactly where they need to go in space. The kick stage will be released at the perigee of this mission's trajectory, which is the lowest part of the kick stage's path around Earth. It's set on an elliptical orbit first, so to course correct to a circular orbit, we wait until the kick stage reaches the other side of the planet and the trajectory's apogee, which is its highest point, close to that 525-kilometre target. Now, once here, the Curie engine will light up to set a circular course around Earth before a few moments later releasing the payload to space and ending the mission for Electron. Now, all of that is coming up shortly now that we are just 3 minutes and 45 seconds until liftoff of PREFIRE and Ice. It's time to send it over to Mission Control to take it from here for the remainder of the count, and I'll be back with you shortly after liftoff. Go NASA, go PREFIRE, and go Electron.
And to all operators, LD on mission code. From now on, there should be no red flags on your critical LCCs. Beacon LD mission code.
LD beacon.
Please lock the auto sequence and confirm.
Auto sequence is locked.
Beacon, please confirm all expected primary flight computer ASCOs are green.
That's confirmed.
We go for an auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes. LDs go for launch.
Vehicle is fully on internal power. AFTSs are green and enabled for flight.
LOX load is complete, system is in recirculation. Anti-geysering is disabled.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 tanks are pressed for flight.
High flow engine purge enabled.
Be at T-minus 20 seconds and counting. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
There goes our 49th Electron rocket soaring off the pad at Launch Complex 1 and on its way to space for NASA. We are now 39 seconds into the mission and our first mission milestone is coming up called Max Q. This is when Electron reaches the maximum amount of pressure that will work against the rocket as it powers its way through the atmosphere. We should hear a call out from Mission Control soon that Electron has made it through that structural test.
High voltage battery discharge nominal.
Cleared Max Q.
That's Electron smoothly through Max Q as the mission continues. We are now at 1 minute and 18 seconds into the mission as Electron passes more than 18 kilometres in altitude at more than 2,300 kilometres an hour. Up next are a familiar set of actions that Electron performs to continue the mission. The first up will be MECO, or main engine cutoff, when all 9 Rutherford engines on the first stage throttle back before shutting down. After that is stage separation, followed by the engine startup on Electron's second stage to carry onto orbit with NASA's PREFIRE satellite. Standing by now to listen out for Mission Control to check off those milestones.
AOS Chathams.
Stage 1 propulsion is holding nominal. Stand by for MECO in roughly 30 seconds.
"15 seconds till staging."
Entered burnout detect mode.
MECO confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed.
Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
That was MECO, stage separation and second stage engine start for Electron. The second stage Rutherford engine is glowing hot and bright as it carries on to orbit, now more than 100 kilometres above Earth and moving at more than 8,000 kilometres an hour. Now this engine is identical to the sea-level Rutherford engines used on Electron's first stage, with that exception of a larger expansion nozzle that allows for improved performance. Next up is fairing jettison of the rocket's nose cone. And the fairing is what protects the satellite on Electron through flight. But once Electron is ready to be rid of the nose cone, each half of the fairing is designed to rotate on a hinge away from the payload in a safe separation motion. And that action is due now in just a few moments, so let's listen in.
Fairing jettison confirmed.
And there they went. Electron's fairing halves have split and fallen away from the rocket as planned. Now that nose cone is ejected once we reach space and we don't need its protection anymore for the NASA PREFIRE satellite that is on board. We're heading to a 525 kilometre orbit for this mission, but stage 2 will only take us to just over 200 kilometres to our perigee, where we'll separate the kick stage that has the PREFIRE satellite. So another 100 or so kilometres to go for Electron's second stage. We are approaching the next mark in the launch for Electron's second stage, an action that you'll only come across with our rocket called the battery hot swap. The Rutherford rocket engine powering the second stage uses batteries as the power supply for its propellant pumps. Now, those have been running for some time now, so the battery's power levels are running low. And to prevent an engine stall, we swap out those dying batteries with a fresh pack that will keep the engine running its full duration. Now, those old battery packs are ejected once they're done, which you can sometimes see on your screen as they fall away. So watch out for those just after the T+6 minute mark into the mission.
Throttling down.
Battery
Hot swap
jettison
success.
confirmed.
And that is battery hot swap confirmed for the second stage Rutherford engine, called out by the operator in mission control, in which we saw on our screen just moments ago. Now, with that clean swap, the Rutherford at more than 15,000 kilometres an hour. We have a couple more minutes to go with Electron's second stage as we approach its final set of actions, with engine shutdown and stage separation expected soon after we tick over 9 minutes into the mission. 7 minutes and 10 seconds into the mission, well over 17,000 kilometres an hour now, and things are looking nominal for that second stage engine burn. The next milestone for this mission will be the second engine cutoff on that second stage, which we're coming up to in just a few moments.
High voltage battery discharge holding nominal.
Stage 2 propulsion is holding nominal.
It's now 8 minutes, 16 seconds into the mission, which means we are coming up on the engine shutdown for Electron's second stage, to be followed shortly afterward by stage separation of the kick stage that is carrying NASA's PREFIRE satellite. The process is practically the same as the first stage engine shutdown and stage separation that Electron performed earlier in the launch. We'll know that it's been successful when we see that red-hot engine nozzle on the screen start to turn cold with that successful engine shutdown. We're waiting, though, on the call out from Mission Control for confirmation of those actions.
Guidance is in terminal, 20 seconds remaining.
Seco confirmed.
Stage 3 separation confirmed. Nominal transfer orbit achieved.
Successful engine shutdown and a clean stage separation for Electron. The kick stage has been released at its perigee with its attached PREFIRE satellite ready to join the first PREFIRE satellite deployed to space just last week. Now, with the kick stage released onto an elliptical orbit first, it now has to complete its first set of maneuvers to correct to a circular orbit. This involves an engine startup in about 40 minutes once the kick stage completes its first half orbit of Earth. We'll take a break in the webcast now, but come back live for that engine startup, as well as the final milestone for this mission, payload deployment for NASA's PREFIRE satellite. We'll see you back here soon. Welcome back to the webcast of our second Electron launch for the NASA PREFIRE climate change mission. Earlier today, our 49th Electron rocket lifted off from Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1 in New Zealand with its NASA satellite on board for a clean ascent through the usual launch milestones, including max Q, first stage engine shutdown, stage separation, and second stage engine start. After a nominal ascent with the second stage to the mission's target perigee of over 200 kilometres, the kick stage was separated and has just completed its first half pass of Earth. We're now approaching the startup of the kick stage's Curie engine to reposition the stage to a circular orbit. The full duration of the engine burn should last for just under a minute. So let's listen into Mission Control for confirmation for that Curie engine startup.
Curie ignition confirmed.
Curie engine startup confirmed there by Mission Control. That will mean the kick stage is now out of its initial elliptical orbit and onto its 525-kilometre circular path ahead of the payload deployment of the NASA PREFIRE satellite. The kick station's propulsion system includes both our own Curie engine and 6 coal gas reaction control thrusters that enable the stage to perform orbit manoeuvring and positioning like it is now, plane changes, and also orbit lowering burns for when we want to speed up the kick stage's timeline in space. Now, Curie is tiny compared to the Rutherford engine, but like the Rutherford, it is also a 3D printed engine that's integrated with lightweight carbon composite propellant tanks. We also heard over Mission Control there that we have had the successful shutdown of the kick stage's Curie engine, and that means we are now only moments away from payload deployment for NASA's PREFIRE satellite, set to be delivered to its 525-kilometre target orbit to begin its mission to collect data.
PREFIRE 2 deployment confirmed.
Welcome to space, NASA PREFIRE. That is payload deployment complete for the second of 2 satellites for NASA's PREFIRE mission. Now, the second PREFIRE satellite will join the first on its collective mission to monitor the heat lost to space from the Arctic and Antarctica. So, congratulations to NASA and to the Rocket Lab team for another mission success for Electron. That is 49 Electrons launched, now only 1 more to go to reach Electron's 50th launch milestone. And we'll have details about our next mission available in the coming days, so keep an eye out on our social media channels and our website for the latest. But until then, thank you so much for joining us for today's launch. This is Rocket Lab Mission Control signing off.